Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up Home Edition again. I'm in the greenhouse because I need to sow some seeds. And what I'm sowing today is all of the onion or the leek family. In fact, 2 varieties of leeks, 3 varieties of onions and a spring onion as well, although I haven't got them here at the minute. They're on migration somewhere. Anyway, they all share similar characteristics. They're all sort of an onion and an onion flavour. Your leeks will germinate at temperatures all the way down to about 7 degrees, so you don't really need warmth for them, although they better germinate if the temperature is much higher, up to about 20 degrees. And they say that for onions, you really want a temperature of 20 to 25 degrees, but again, they will germinate at a lower temperature. They'll just take a little bit longer, that's all. So you don't need to get too hung up on temperatures for sowing and germinating your seeds. Now, I've got a few varieties, but as I say, what I want to show you first is something that I keep harping on about sieving your compost. I thought, well, I've never actually shown it, and so I thought, well, I may as well actually show you. So that's just a handful straight from the bag, and I'm just going to sieve it through because I want to show you what comes out if you've never sieved compost before. This is the rubbish that you get in a bag of compost. It's fine if you're using compost to fill a pot up or a hanging basket, it's not a problem, but this is the rubbish after you've sieved it that you get left with after sieving compost. Now these are all the little bits that your little tiny roots of plants will grab hold of if you sowed that seeds directly into compost that's not sieved. And a little plant, a little seedling can easily wrap its roots, get entwined and messed around with that. So there's nothing wrong with this. And in fact, I use this at the bottom of the dahlia pots when I'm filling them up later in the season. But what you're left with is the fine stuff behind for sowing your seeds in, which is perfect. Another good reason for sowing the compost is you've got those big lumps and they don't fit together like a square goes to next to a square, makes a rectangle, fits perfectly. Those lumps don't fit together perfectly, and your seed will fall in between, into those cavities between the lumps of compost, and they don't get damp and they don't germinate. And it's another reason why poor germination rates can happen. But in this stuff, you pop your seed on there, more compost on top, you know it's in contact with wet soil and it's got a better chance and your germination rates will increase. So I just thought I would highlight that. Right, we'll get on with some sowing then. I've got some big trays here. Thanks to Kristen for these trays. Very much appreciated, sir. As a friend, somebody I've known for an awful long time, posted these trays to me, which I'm very thankful for. So I'm going to fill these up with leeks. Just putting a couple of depressions in. These trays, they've been filled up with sieved compost. They've been pressed down, much the same as I'm doing now, and then filled up again. So they're packed with compost, which is what you want really. You want a lot of compost for your plants to go at. More compost in there, the more feed they get. Right, so they're in there, and I've got my little seed sowing thing. I'll get some seeds out. Just a little bag of seeds. That's just this year's seeds. But I grow a lot of plants and I end up giving a lot away, and I deliberately grow plants for people who can't or choose not to grow from seed. And I also use them as a bit of a barter thing as well. Down at the allotments, you know, I give a few plants away and you get a few in return, or, you know, it's a favour for a favour, isn't it? It's just being nice. So anyway, I'll put a load of seeds in there. These are Leek Musselborough, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 or 3 seeds in each depression here, because these are multi-sown modules now, we've gone past the single phase and I'm now multi-sowing. So when I come to harvest these, I can be harvesting them earlier. I can twist out of an individual bunch of leek plants. I can twist out one or two from each bunch, and the rest will carry on growing. And that's the beauty of multi-sowing. You get much increased harvest for the same area that you would use and normally grow just the one. You can have 3 or 4 or more in each. So that's all the Musselborough sown there. We've also got a little pot here that I'm going to sow a few in, and that's just for a project that I may or may not do later in the season. So that'll make a nice hairy little pot of leek seeds. So that's the Leek Musselborough sown, and I've got this which supposedly a much hardier variety of leek. It's a French one, Blue de Solaise, I think it is. It's more of a greyish leaf. So again, it's just the same principle. And the great thing about this is you've just seen, I've just sown about 40 odd cells there, and you know, in what, a minute it's taken. Especially with this little seed sower thing. You get yourself one of these little seed sower things, they're only a couple of quid each, and your life becomes so much easier, and you can control the amount of seeds you're giving each plant without too much fuss, and I like that. So that's, oh, I want some in here as well. Oh well, do it the old-fashioned way. Again, I just want a few sown in this little pot as well. I have already sown these 2 varieties into the big polystyrene box, you may remember from an earlier video. And they're the ones that I'm going to grow the old traditional way. I'm going to trench them into the ground. These, as I say, are multi-sown and will be grown no dig. And these other ones in the pot may possibly be grown in the polytunnel. So that's that done. That's 80 odd plants multiplied by 4 or 5. 400 plants, 400 leeks in that one tray. There we go. Next tray up is the 2 onions. Again, it's the same. I've got 2 varieties of onions here. One is Red Brunswick and the other is Bedfordshire Champ. That's an old favourite. I've never tried the Red Brunswick one before. That's a new variety to me. But I wanted to try a new variety. I've grown Red Baron for years and always been disappointed. They never come out to a decent size. So I don't know what onions you're all growing this year, whether you're growing from seed or from sets. Let me know in the comments, I'd be interested. I'm always interested to know what other people are growing, how well they do for you. You know, does it come out as a poor crop for you, or do you have success with onions? All these sort of things, I always want to know how other people are doing. And that's essentially why I watch other people's videos. I want to see what they're doing differently to me. And if their crops are doing well, and this is how you learn, isn't it? So again, I'll just sow these, again multi-sown, 2 or 3 in each cell. I'm not going to be prissy about it. If 4 or 5 drop in, so be it. But these will be in such a small area planted that it's so easy to come in and weed them out when they are planted. If you feel you've got too many growing in one clump, you just weed a couple out. And the seed is so dirt cheap. And that's another thing, you know, if you're all those seeds there, they're all from Premier Seeds, they're all 99p a packet. So, you know, nothing lost if you lose some. I reckon there's enough there for next year as well, for 99p. So the Bedfordshire Champ, I'll do exactly the same. I'll cover them in compost the same as I did with the leeks. Water them, and I'll leave them on the propagator here until they start to germinate. Once your onions start to germinate, you can take them away from the heat. They only need that to get them going. Keep them protected if you can. I'll be going a bit more into that about protection in the coming weeks. I've got some interesting stuff coming up with that, so I'll show you how I protect plants and what I do with them, and some of the stuff that's never made it to camera yet. So there we go. Again, that's probably 400 onions there. The majority of them will be golf ball size, but they'll just be as tasty. But that, I think with that, that's it for this video. I've got another one I'm doing over there, which is the long red Florence. That's an heirloom onion, red in colour, more of a pinky colour really. Well, I might as well get on and sow it now anyway. But they're shaped like a banana shallot. They're sort of torpedo shaped. And they're quite nice. I prefer the Zabron shallots, and I will be sowing some of them, but I'll leave that a month before I do those. And the other one I want to sow today is a spring onion. Now I grow Ishikura, it's a Japanese bunching onion, and I'll be sowing them this afternoon as well. So again, just chuck a couple in each tray. These will be planted out as a plug, and you'll have bunches of onions growing. Weed out the smaller ones if you don't want them, and then you can start harvesting the smallest ones before they're ready, before they go over and the tops start dying down where you would normally harvest onions. You can be harvesting and eating them before that, and leaving the ones behind to grow on to maturity. So that's it. Load of onions sowed. I'm going to go and find my spring onions. But that's it for this video. Look after yourselves everyone, take care, and I'll see you very, very soon. Take care now, bye bye.